What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Sony 24-105 f4. So I've had this lens for about 6 months. I had my eye on it for a while and I finally pulled the trigger. And so I want to tell you why I pulled the trigger, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. It's going to be a quick review, but I'm going to try to touch on all the bases, some of the things that I care about when I'm looking for lenses. And so hopefully you guys find value in this video. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my future uploads. And so let's go ahead and get into it. So the first pro is definitely going to be the focal range. 24-105 covers all the lenses that I need. So basically I just bring one lens and I'm good to go. I used to shoot with a 24-70, but the type of work that I do, I was finding myself switching lenses too much. So for me, 24-105 was the perfect lens to where I can just slap it on, cover my wide, my medium, my telephoto, and it just works out perfect. So I really love it for that reason. Okay, and so the next thing I love about this lens is the constant f4. F4 for me is perfectly fine for the type of work that I do. I'm a commercial swimwear photographer and lifestyle photographer. And so F4 for me is perfect. It keeps everything in focus. But that constant f4, especially when I'm zooming in the telephoto at 105 millimeters, I can rest assured that I'm still going to have a constant f4. So that really comes in handy. I can dial in my settings and keep everything consistent. So I really love that. The next thing I love about this lens is the OSS, which is the optical steady shot. And so what that does for me, right now I'm shooting on the A7S III. And so any camera body that has image stabilization with this particular lens, you'll be able to add an extra stop of stabilization because this has OSS. So that really comes in handy. And especially when I'm shooting handheld as well. You know, I do a lot of video as well, and just having this on the lens will add an extra stop and makes the footage look really nice. So I love that. Next is going to be the autofocus. The autofocus surprisingly is very fast and it's quiet, and I love that. So there's not too much glass moving around. But this is still a really good and fast autofocus, and I love that, especially when I'm doing video. Even if I'm doing fast-paced action, or if a model is on the beach or anything that's moving fast, it can keep up, and that's what I love about it. All right, and so the next thing I love about this lens is how light it is. I never had a problem with this lens being too heavy for my gimbal. I have a Ronin S2, which I usually use when I'm doing video. Even if I'm just shooting during the day, I can just leave this on all day, and it's not heavy to me, so it works out good. Lightweight, I love it. And so with every pro, there are cons. And so I'm gonna just name a few. It's not really too many cons, but there are a few cons. And so the first con is gonna be the f4. Now, that was a pro, but it's also a con. Now, for the type of work that I do, f4 for me is perfect. I shoot inside the studio. I'm usually shooting outside where I need to show exactly what's going on anyway. But in a situation where if I'm indoors, f4 is definitely not enough light. So you have to make a decision on what type of photography or videography that you're doing, whether you're indoors or outdoor. But that's definitely a con because you won't be able to get that much light, and then you'll have to crank up your ISO, and we don't want to do that. All right, and so the next con is going to be softness. This at f4 is a little soft. I like to shoot at 7.1 for the sweet spot, but f4 is a little soft. It's not over the top soft, but it is something to be aware of. If you want the sharpest image and even video, you want to at least be at 7.1, and you'll be able to get the best out of that. So it is a little soft at f4. And the last con really for me is at 24 millimeters. It's going to be vignetting, right? And so the way I combat that is I'll zoom in a little bit. I'll probably push it into like 35 millimeters and I'll get rid of it. But if you're in a situation where if you zoom in, you're gonna crop in on the shot and the things that you're trying to capture, then that's something that you're gonna have to be aware of. So I haven't really dealt with it too much. I'll just zoom in a little bit and get rid of it, but definitely something you want to be aware of. At 24 millimeters, you do have a little bit of vignetting, but that's expected. Usually on zoom lenses, you're going to have a lot of vignetting, and so usually a prime lens doesn't have that. If you would have had the 24, 1.4, or any 24 prime, you usually don't have that. Okay, so who is this lens for? So the price for this lens right now, brand new, is about $1,400, and I have seen some used for about $800. And for $800 for a lens 24-105 with optical steady shot, you're covering all your focal lengths. The constant f4 is really a steal if you can get it used. And I feel like this lens is for portrait photographers, landscape photographers, even wedding photographers. If the wedding's outside, you can just slap this lens on, you just get all your shots. You won't miss, any special moments. I'm a lifestyle swimwear photographer, so I use this outside. When I'm shooting at 24 or 35 millimeters, sometimes the client wants me to zoom in. So I can really get in there at 105. And you know, that was something that I was dealing with before when I had my 24-70. I just needed a little bit extra room, and then I would have to take the camera off of the tripod and really punch in, or do the digital zoom with the crop inside the Sony body. So it was something I just got tired of. So I pulled the trigger, and I love this lens. Definitely something you won't regret. And so guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you have any questions about this lens, let me know. I can answer down in the comments, and let me know what you guys want me to talk about in the next video. Like I said, if you guys aren't subscribed, consider subscribing, hit the like button, and hit the bell so you guys don't miss any more of my future uploads. Be putting out content. So that's pretty much it, guys. Until the next video. Peace.